Well, even after 15 years, this color trend is still going strong. Hi, my name is Remy Boudreau, licensed painter, color consultant, owner of Expressions Painting, and founder of Expressions Painting University. I remember in the early 2000s, every job seemed to have a color like this. This particular one I remember to be quite popular. It was called Blonde, SW6128 from Sherwin-Williams. Basically, it seemed like everywhere you were looking, there was this yellow, goldish, beige color serving as the main tapestry for most houses. We used to call it the builder's beige, since at the time, every house was being built with a color along this line. And to go with those colors, in a lot of cases, you would see like burnt oranges or terracottas or reds, along with maybe green as well. Like a sage green was often a popular color. And with those colors having quite a bit of tone to it and being fairly dark, we would often see the trim or ceiling be kind of like a yellowish off-white. Like this one, Dover White from Sherwin-Williams, SW6385 was a popular one. So you see, when you put all these colors together, even the trim appears to be almost white, right? Because by contrast, the rest of the colors were so popular. Was so much darker. But since 2011, I remember this so vividly, because it's almost as if from one year to the next, everything changed. From then on out, it seems like every time I'd walk into a client's house to give an estimate, one of the main things they would do is, everywhere you see that yellow, I want that gone. All right, and since then, basically the color, the tendency has been to go both lighter and neutral. So essentially, this is the color trend that we've been seeing for the past 15 years, and honestly, it's not going anywhere. But what is potentially changing is what that means for you, as far as what is lighter and what is neutral, right? Because that's, if this were the colors in your house and you want to go lighter, well, of course, this is quite a bit lighter. Now, if you want to go even lighter, you can go to white, and then it's even that much more lighter, right? So for a long time, it was the grays, and I would have said maybe like a shade perhaps a bit darker than what we're seeing now. Maybe like 70-30 or 70-31 from Sherwin-Williams, like to give you an idea. I'll put pictures there for reference. But those were really in, and it served as a more neutral tapestry for the house, right? Because there used to be this decorating thing where a house was, everything was colorful, right? The colors of the rainbow. So you had the red here going with the green there, or you had the purple going well with the yellow. Like everything was thought out, and it was all working, but then you couldn't change anything, right? So that was the big thing. But now we know everything changes so fast. So with having a lighter neutral color, first, the lighter brings in more light, which most people are looking for nowadays. But the benefit is that anytime there's a trend that changes, maybe you want to put some orange pillows in your room for the fall, or some yellow and greens in the spring, right, to change things up. So things change fast nowadays, but with having that neutral color on your wall, it makes any change that much more easy. So basically, lighter and neutral has been the tendency. Now, in recent years, in new homes, new constructions, we've seen a lot of the whites come in. Now, this works very well in new constructions because you get to pick everything from scratch, right? So you can pick those beautiful, soft, neutral wood tones with the whites to go with them, and it makes it so warm and inviting, okay? Beautiful, I'm not denying that. But in the repaint, the difference is that not everyone has that pure neutral wood tone in their house, right? And so you also need to kind of work with the space you have to make it so that you can bring about that neutral, more light feeling, but it's not often on the white side, like you would maybe see in new constructions, because doing so may require much more bigger renovations and investment, right? Maybe you would need to redo the floors, restain the floors and things like that. So basically, that's the big trend. So we know that, especially in the past, years, a few years, a room may go from a spare bedroom to a home office to a den to a gym, right, in the span of only a year. Well, with having that neutral color makes repurposing a room so much easier. So did you get value in this video? Do you like that trend, or do you want to perhaps bring in more of your personality in these in your home? And of course, it's not to say that everything has to be these colors, right? Because there are certainly those clients where we will put that accent wall to have a bit of personality and the uniqueness to maybe a bedroom, an office, or things like that, right? So it's not to say that maybe a colorful accent wall or a colorful room is not still happening, but what I'm talking about here is more having to do with the main common area of a room, right? The space that's shared by everyone living there, right? And so that tends to be by far and large the light neutral colors. Right? So if you're ready to change those colors and you live in the Moncton area, give us a call. We will work through the steps to get you the right colors to the right benefits. So if you are ready to change those colors, we will help you change your life.